Hi friends, and welcome back to my channel. Today we are going to do an in-depth of how to get started on a honeycomb. So we're not going to go through this whole pattern, but definitely the most important parts of the pattern. So let's jump right in. I hope you guys enjoy, and please don't forget to like and subscribe. So to start, we are going to sand and prep our tumbler. I'm using my hand sander, but you definitely don't need to use a hand sanitizer to accomplish this. You can use a sanding block, which you can grab from Amazon, or sanding paper, which you can grab again from just about anywhere. I'm using the 120 grit. And what this will do is this is going to make sure that our paint and our rhinestones have something to grab onto and hold onto. So it helps with the longevity of the tumbler. Now, once you have completed sanding, you are going to want to wash off all the dust. You can do that with Dawn dish soap and water, or alcohol and a paper towel. From there, we are going to jump right into a base painting. So for this one, it's a pink and black leopard ombre for my customer. And so we are going to do a pink and black ombre on our tumbler. The reason you're going to want to do this is when you're using a pattern, this is going to make sure that the colors that are being used match. That way, any itty bitty teeny weeny gaps, you're not going to be able to see the stainless steel. You'll actually be able to see the spray paint. Now, once that has completely dried, it's time for us to jump into the bling process. So this pattern does use SS20s. You are going to want to make sure that all of them are the same size. That is the purpose of a honeycomb, is that they all match and they can all snuggle in with one another. From there, what you're seeing me do is I am taking my Cami Page Boutiques cup holder, and I'm actually using it to draw a line down the entire length of the tumbler. This is going to make sure that I have a consistent starting and end point, which is especially important when you are following a pattern. Now, the glue that I'm using is E6000. You can use any adhesive that you prefer. There's Liquid Fusion. There is Gym Tack. There are lots of different adhesives that you can use. So use whichever one that suits your personal preference. So from here, what I'm going to do, and this is kind of the in-depth portion that we're going to talk about, I am going to set our very first row. Now, the reason your very first row is so incredibly crucial is because if this is crooked, the entire pattern is going to be off. So what you're going to do is you're going to see me go around. I'm going to go in kind of chunks. If I'm moving pretty quickly, I'll do the whole tumbler, but that doesn't always happen. And if I know that I'm going to have to step away, I'll do it in small chunks as well. But from here, you're just going to place all of your stones according to your pattern. Now, one thing you want to be sure of is when you're purchasing your pattern, that your pattern and your tumbler, wherever you choose to purchase your tumblers from, are the same. Otherwise, the count will be off. So super important that you check that, or you just count through your first row just to see that it aligns. So this particular tumbler was 50 rhinestones around and 40 rows down. Now, once you have your rhinestones set, you'll notice that I flipped my cup upside down on my Bling Queen and I pressed it to the bottom. This ensures even line all the way across, which I'm eventually going to go back and do it all over again. But I did it as I was going just because I didn't want that adhesive to dry and those stones to dry wonky. So I am almost to the end of this first row here. And you'll see that, again, I take my cup off of my Bling Queen and I'm going to press all those stones down just to make sure they are nice, neat, and even all the way across. Many different creators do this different ways. Some will use a credit card or cardstock. Others have, you can actually purchase I don't know what they're called, but they're like little rings that go around the tumbler, so that you make sure that your lines and your spacing is even. I don't. I saw Jessica Flynn do this many, many moons ago, and this has just been my preferred method ever since I saw her do this. Now, while I'm finishing this up, to give you guys some more information, which will also be in the description below, I am using the Bling Queen 2.0 from the Bowen. This just helps so that I'm not having to hold my cup. It does it for me and it spins it all around. The rhinestones I'm using, again, they are all SS20s or 5mm. They are from the Bling Dispensary. And for this particular pattern, I'm using Black Magic, Barbie Pink, and Bubblegum Pink. And then the spray paint that I used was Candy Pink and Black. Now, once you have started and set your first row, you're going to want to let it fully dry before you move into your next row. The reason that that bit is important is because if they're not dry, you can move, and then again, your lines can become wonky. All right, so this is starting our second row. My glue is completely dry for the first row, and I am ready to move on. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to dab this on. Now, a few things here. I would recommend, if you have a precision glue tip, definitely use that. Mine got clogged. I didn't have any extras, so I had to be very, very careful, because what can happen is your glue can engulf your stone, and that's not the prettiest of looks, and it's going to take a lot more elbow grease on your end when it comes to washing your cup at the end. But once you've got your adhesive there, this is the next piece. So with a honeycomb, you are pretty much going to be going in between the two stones that are above. So in the row ahead, above the one you're creating, if that makes sense. If not, I'm pretty sure you'll get the idea when you watch this. Now, this is the pattern that you're going to follow every row after this. So you're just going to snuggle them in between the two stones above, and then you are going to let that dry. So with that being said, that is pretty much how you're going to do the honeycomb throughout the entire portion of the cup, just following your pattern as it's outlined. This one I purchased on Etsy, so I'll make sure to link that below. But if you want a more like in-depth following the pattern from start to finish, I'll make sure I also link my previous rhinestone video that has that. But I wanted to make sure that you guys had an up close and personal with the honeycomb. So I'm going to let this play. I'll play y'all some music and we'll be back. Now that we've completed our second row, you're going to see here that I am pressing down all around the tumbler and the rhinestones. This is just to ensure that we have got good adhesion all around the cup. And then you're going to continue this method till the end. And once you're done with your pattern, you should have something that looks a little bit like this. I am so in love with how this one turned out, and I am so excited to be delivering it to my customer. She is giving it as a gift, and I hope that they are both just as thrilled as I am. But that's all for this week, friends. I will see you next week. I'd love to hear what you think in the comments below. Bye now.